What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. We're here with more SCP stuff, but this time featuring my fiance.
Hello.
Hi. I hope you stick around the channel, hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment down below to feed the algorithm gods. And yeah, we're gonna jump into this video. He has read the SCP-2718, which is After Death?
Yeah, End of Death.
And oh, is this the wrong one then?
I think there's multiple SCPs that cover the topic. There's one that starts with a 2 and another that starts with a 3. So this is one of them.
Which one did you watch? Or read?
I just generally read about it on the wiki. I think both. The whole Dameron project. So
Okay.
this works.
Okay, I don't know anything. I'm just starting my deep dive.
Yeah, this is in it.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess we're watching this anyways. So, what happens after death? An SCP animation. So let's get straight into it. Yeah, stick around the channel. I upload daily. Oh, let's get it.
Hold on. Before we begin this video, there's something really important we need you to do. Just remember this phrase while you're watching. It's crucial that you don't let these 4 words slip out of your head, even for a split second.
Okay.
You can even pause the video and repeat the sentence to yourself a few times, just to get it to fully sink in.
Belief is the key. I feel like they should have said belief is key.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did they add the?
Sounds cooler with 3 words.
Yeah, 3 words would have worked better for me. Belief is the key. I feel like you put a comma there maybe or something. Belief is the key.
Yeah.
yeah.
You say it better.
Yeah. Bonk.
Oh.
You took my face.
Again, remember
You're
please,
smiling, though.
belief is the key. We have all wondered at one point or another what happens after.
Belief is
After our
the
lives
key.
draw to their inevitable close and we take our last breath in the land of the living. What happens to us? It's a question that has baffled scientists and
Oh, he's dead as
philosophers
fuck.
all
I
over the
really
world for
thought-
almost as long as human
think much more into
civilization
it.
has existed. What happens
Mm-hmm.
after we die? Well, the answer to that particular question normally varies depending on who you choose to ask. There are, as you probably already know,
Oh, they said the video way louder than you. Hold up. There you go. Should be better.
numerous beliefs held by all religions and cultures around the globe, that there exists an afterlife. While the description of the afterlife is often dependent on the religious or cultural group it is linked to, the concept usually revolves around the soul leaving the body after death, and living forever in
When you get your soul
eternal
sucked.
paradise. Of course, unless you've committed sin during your
belief
lifetime,
is the
which
key.
normally results in being sent down to spend eternity in punishment instead of paradise. But sadly, there's no way to prove which.
Huh? What's happening? Now the video's too low? You motherfuckers are picky as hell today.
If any of the various afterlives actually exist. By their very nature, these afterlives exist separate from the real physical world that we live in while we are still alive. Stuck here on Earth, we can only observe what we see happening after death, and what we assume it might be like. After all, it's not like a dead person can tell us what being dead is like. Well, under
I mean,
usual
honestly,
circumstances-
when you murder this
I tell you what it's like.
it's like, I'm dirty as fuck. I'm sorry.
With no proof of the afterlife's existence, we do unfortunately get left with the bleak and existentially horrifying assumption that, when we die, there is nothing waiting for us on the other side. No light at the end of the tunnel. No pearly gates, just
I don't know, when I was
nothing
dying, I did not
forever.
see a tunnel.
Of course, being unconscious
mean,
for
like, the tunnel
eternity
vision,
isn't
but
quite as
that's
bad as
definitely
the
not what
other
happened to me.
possibility. What could that other possibility be? Well, according to the SCP Foundation's entry for SCP-2718,
For me, it
you
was
might
like-
not
I couldn't see nothing, but I think my eyes were just closed.
Yeah, that would do it.
And then I heard the sounds of people and like fucking couldn't feel anything in my body anymore. That was gone. Yeah, I think that's about I mean, I remember one of my last conscious thoughts I had. That was like I just was filled with like regret. Like an insatiable, bloodthirsty amount of regret in my life. Like, it was like my childhood regrets, which was like the worst kind. Like, me having a soccer coach who I was mean to for no reason. That's like the thought I had.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
way back.
It was not like I go peacefully. It was like I was being dragged into the night, but not actually like physically or anything. I didn't feel shit. So nothing fun or exciting about it. Nothing cool. No fantastical stories. I just didn't feel anything anymore. I couldn't see anymore, and then that's it. But that might have just been the seizure I had from dying.
Want to know? Anyone attempting to access the data
I
file on
have other people's blood in my
SCP-2718 will
body.
immediately notice a few details that set it
Got the
apart
mix.
from others
Got the
contained in the
mix.
Foundation's archive. Firstly, an ever-changing SCP number. It perpetually swaps numbers with other files to keep itself hidden. Next, a unique object class that is only found in this
Belief is
entry.
the key.
Instead of Keter or Euclid or Safe class that you might expect, you'll read Dämmerung, a German word that loosely
Oh, is
translates
that the word you
to
used at the start?
Yeah.
Oh, so you know all about this stuff. Oh, that's
either
cool.
dusk,
Yeah,
dawn,
you said the word. I didn't know what it
twilight,
meant,
or
but I wasn't gonna
nightfall.
question it.
You might also
Yes.
spot the anomaly special containment procedures, mentioning that this page of the SCP database has been specially constructed in such a way that makes it as difficult as possible to access. The entry itself even begs the person reading it not to go any further, not to look at the description of SCP-2718. Now, we all know that the Foundation goes
Like, hey,
to
don't
great
open
lengths
this.
to keep some things
You
a
read it
secret.
still?
Uh-huh.
Why all the added measures for
You're
SCP-2718?
like, ooh, that's the kind of personality you have,
It
though.
might
You
well
get
be
told
that
not
the
to do something, you
information
do it
contained
instantly.
behind
Uh-huh,
all
I'm
this
going
extra
in.
security
You're
could
so
change the lives
mad.
of anyone that reads it, or to put it more accurately,
Every
it
time.
could change the afterlives of whoever learns what SCP-2718 really is. This anomaly isn't a nightmarish creature or an object with a strange function. It's not an entity from outside our universe, or even a person with an unusual origin. SCP-2718 is a cognitohazard, a piece of information that poses a direct danger to anyone that is able to understand it. That's why the Foundation has so
It's
many pleas.
dangerous information?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's great about that? I'm stupid as bricks. Oh, there's no way I'm understanding it. I'm completely fine.
You just block it.
What are we worried about? I'm stupid. Not for anyone to understand it's a biohazard. It's a cognito biohazard. It's gonna fuck your shit up. It's nothing like the other classes. Blah 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 blah. We made a German word for it. And yeah, nah, dog. I'm too stupid to get it. I'ma just keep saying belief is the key and move on with my day. Thank you very much.
Is to not move it
Immunity.
any further. They're not doing that to protect the organization and their secrets, but to try and protect the reader themselves.
All personnel, regardless of clearance, are forbidden to expose themselves to the description of this article under any circumstances. Do not discuss the existence of this article with any person. No
I like to think of us as one entity. We
Yeah,
are
blob.
blob.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We both said it.
That's because it's the truth.
It's the truth. No worries here, blob.
Uh-huh.
Blob.
disciplinary
got
action
one
will be
ID.
necessary,
Yep.
provided you close this article now and clear your browser cache.
Sounds serious, right? So serious, in fact, that
Clear
anyone
my browser cache, but then I gotta re-log into all my accounts.
Yeah, it's not worth
It's not worth it.
trying to learn about SCP-2718 is actively
too damn
discouraged
long.
to do so.
Exactly.
Even members of Foundation
much
personnel
shit
are
to
offered
deal with.
exemption from punishment if they just do what they're told and turn away. But you still want to know, don't you? Alright, don't say we didn't try our best to warn you. You've ignored all the signs. The repeated warnings
Imagine
to
if the
not
whole
look-
video is just a fucking warning and they don't actually tell us. You just keep
Yeah.
putting us in circles. They just keep going,
They're just like,
yeah,
hey,
you shouldn't know, dog.
don't do it.
Don't do it, dog.
It's just black screen.
Yeah, they just keep doing it for the next, like, what, 14 minutes or
Go
some
further
shit?
into
Holy hell.
SCP-2718 to not look at its description or pass that information on
want
to
it.
anyone else. No, you just had to keep
Such a
digging
sadist.
deeper and deeper. didn't
It's a
you?
masochist,
Searching
oh my
for the
god.
answers you're going to wish you never had gone looking for in the first place.
I need that
Push
for
far
your
enough
story.
through the security measures the Foundation has placed around the
Oh my
SCP-2718 file, and you'll find a transcribed audio recording from none other than a member of the O5 Council. The councilwoman Miriam Prather, O5-7, speaks to a subordinate who begins the recording. As it starts, she talks about how the various members of the O5 Council have used various anomalous means and sometimes other SCPs to artificially extend their lifespans. The Council is functionally immortal. Boring, right? Anyone who knows enough about the SCP Foundation already knows that functional immortality is what has kept the O5s in power for so many decades.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Yeah.
what you might not know is that there was one council member who didn't. His name was Roger Sheldon. Despite being offered each of the 19 known methods of extending life that the other overseers have gladly used, Sheldon refused each and every one. Instead, he would often go on vacations away from the Foundation, without announcing his intention to do so. Both doing this and refusing to become immortal in some ways are actions that are now forbidden for any member of the O5 Council, presumably because of Roger. On one of his impromptu trips away, Roger Sheldon died from a stroke. Given that he didn't let anyone know where he was planning on going, he was sadly left to rot after his death. However, Roger possessed an important anomalous artifact in his possession at all times, meaning that the SCP Foundation was keen to recover his body and, by extension, this object. He also had knowledge of a unique keyword, a phrase referred to as a shibboleth, which the other overseers needed to extract from Sheldon. But how do you get information from a dead man?
Belief
Well,
is the key.
you bring him back to life, of course. And we're not talking about the normal kind of resurrection the Foundation often indulges in, which is really just glorified cloning. This is the ripping of an actual soul back from the void and placing it inside
but
its
then we'll
body
find out
once
what actually
more,
happens when you
so it can
die.
live again as it once
Oh, that's
did.
cool as shit. That's how we
Eventually,
get
after
there.
14
Okay.
years of searching, Roger Sheldon's remains were exhumed and then returned to the Foundation. There, his personal belongings were recovered, including the mysterious artifact. Then, just as planned, they revived Roger in order to recover the shibboleth from his memory. The O5 Council had commissioned the creation of a brand new body for Roger, one that perfectly matched his old one in every conceivable detail. And it worked. What was odd was that the formerly deceased overseer, who had refused to extend his lifespan and live forever, seemed overjoyed to be brought back from the dead.
Oh,
The
he's happy
resurrection
about
seemed
it.
to work exactly as intended, even better in fact, with Roger now firmly back among the living. He appeared to have a newfound interest in preserving human life and empathy for others that he'd never shown before.
Oh, he
Sheldon
must
was
have had a
concerned
fucked
about
up
personnel
afterlife
safety
then.
and
Right.
containment protocols in a way he hadn't
Hey, how
been
do we
before
stop?
his stroke. But this apparent compassion was underscored by something else: caution. Roger never went anywhere without an entourage of medical staff and bodyguards, almost frightened of how fragile life was. You
Can't
might
just
think
make
there's
himself
nothing too
immortal now in his
alarming
new
about
body?
this
He's not worried
behavior,
about it?
that maybe death had given Sheldon a new perspective, an appreciation for the delicate nature of human
That makes
life.
sense.
But it was more than that. It was an unprecedented fear, a phobia of allowing people, anyone, to die.
I mean,
Then
he
came
saved
Roger
someone's life
Sheldon's
there,
most
so-
unpredictable
Right.
course of action. Acting against all regulations and Foundation protocols, he secretly rushed into the containment chamber of SCP-106. This anomaly is a humanoid that secretes a black goop from its body, capable of dragging human beings into a pocket dimension that it controls and uses to torture its victims.
What the
Sheldon was
fuck?
trying to make some kind of bargain with SCP-106 when he was detained by Miriam Prather. When told to explain his actions, Roger Sheldon eventually gave them his horrifying testimony. The reason he'd been so afraid and so cautious after his resurrection. He knew what happened after death. Cast your mind back to the start of this video. All that talk about afterlives and what really happens to us after we die. Well, there is one answer to that question that doesn't often cross people's minds. In fact, everyone who ponders the question, what happens after, subconsciously tries to overlook it, because to even think it's possible presents a whole horde of horrors in itself. What could be such a terrifying thought that we all hope it simply isn't true? It's the simple, horrible possibility that has hardly occurred to anyone throughout human history. That
Damn!
the dead remain conscious after their bodies have shut down. They remain aware of everything that happens to them. They are able to feel themselves slowly decaying, bones and skin withering away, buried
Hey,
under
that's
the
my
cold,
fear. Actually, like,
wasting
genuinely, that
away
is one of my
into
fears.
nothingness day after day.
It's legit.
That
We really
is
don't
what
know.
SCP-2718 is. After suffering his stroke, Roger Sheldon explained how he could still feel everything happening to him. Skin blistered and split in the sunlight. Biting insects descended rapidly. I felt eggs hatch. Larvae
cremate my
crawl,
ass.
gases
Cremate
build
me.
and burst within me. Individual
Cremate
cells
me.
rupturing, interstitial fluids souring and blackening. Somehow my capacity to experience and store these sensations grew. I was aware of every fingernail and strand of hair that pulled away in the wind. He went on describing every horror he'd experienced in lurid detail as his body broke down in
Believe is
real
the key.
time, knowing that those same images and thoughts would never leave his head. Shocked by the revelation, Miriam and the other overseer rushed to hold a meeting of the rest of the O5 Council.
Oh
wherein Roger
no.
once-
Did you notice how they said Miriam's name, but the other ones are just overseers? They named her. That bitch is dead as fuck.
Right?
There's no way you're giving us the names of people unless they dead.
once again
when it comes to
described his
when it comes to
posthumous
05.
experience. Hearing
you
what
picked up
happens
on
after
that.
death drove
Yeah.
every council member mad, each reacting with shock, stress, and anger. One of them tried to calm the rest down, while another motioned to treat death itself as a Keter-class SCP and neutralize it. The chaos was eventually quelled when O5-1 silenced the other O5s, activating Emergency Protocol 17 to gas the overseers with amnestics to wipe their memories of what they had learned. Only Roger and -7 were able to escape the room before the bulkhead sealed, and the gas was deployed. Roger believed that people had a right to know about SCP-2718. Agreeing with him, Miriam
Okay,
created a log
homie.
of all she knew
Motherfucker, you're one of the 05. You know they won't let the people know about nothing. Because then, no. We are tight-lipped motherfuckers around here. What you
about
mean?
what happens
Yeah,
after
well,
death,
that's just
then permanently locking it within the SCP database, protected from ever being deleted or having its description altered. However, on the orders of O5-1, Miriam was gunned down by Foundation personnel.
See, I said,
leaving
oh, I
Roger to
called that.
escape.
That's crazy.
Presumably, he returned to SCP-106, agreeing to be tortured forever in the creature's pocket dimension. To him, that was preferable to dying. So if you now know what SCP-2718 is, then why did we start this video with the phrase, belief is the key? Well, as we said earlier, this anomaly is a cognitohazard. It's a phenomenon that only occurs after you are exposed to a certain piece of information. That knowledge is what's being contained here, within the entry left by O5-7. You see, it's actually knowing what happens to you after death that makes SCP-2718 happen. If you spend your life believing in a version of the afterlife, only to then learn about SCP-2718, then that information will override whatever religion, culture, or faith
Oh,
led
that's
you
cool
to
as
believe
shit. So that means like other shit could be real, but the knowledge of this one changes that for you, and this is what becomes your finite option.
about death.
Wow.
Knowing about SCP-2718 overwrites your afterlife. It creates a new, endless, and meaningless pain as you experience every sensation beyond your death.
That's
Yeah.
fucked.
Yep.
Decomposition.
Belief is
cremation.
key, huh?
That's the reason that belief is the key. Because once you are exposed to it, SCP-2718 becomes what happens after you die. In our defense, we warned you. Now go check out
now we got all the
SCP-2935 O-Death and SCP-657 Death Predicting Man for more anomalies about death. The true final frontier.
That was
Yeah.
Wind.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It just sets up the end of death.
that's it sets up the one that you wanted to. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, YouTube. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for your love and support always. And we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment down below to feed the algorithm, quads. Bye!